get on the boat or leave.
Now, in the interest of like honest analysis here, if they were both on the boat and he heard his buddy yelling at Nolan, not him, by the way. Warren wasn't yelling at Nolan. Even in his own story, he wasn't looking for Nolan or yelling for Nolan. And in the beginning of part 1 of the interview, he says, Nolan was like a brother to me. He was my best friend. More than a friend, though. He was like a brother to me. But Warren's not the one looking for Nolan, not the one yelling for Nolan. He don't even go over and lay eyes on him again, according to his own story that he's telling us. But he hears his buddy saying, hey, Nolan.
The boat's having issues. And, no, he didn't say that, but he was panicking. Nolan.
Do not let him get prescribed the Sex RX plus Climax Control pills through Hims. I can't stop.
Said, I'm going to stay here with Katie who I'm sitting with next to the boat. No part of that exchange would have given Warren the details to know that Nolan was sitting by the boat with Katie, which was his exact words. He contradicted himself. That's blatant deception. It needs to be immediately exploited and interrogated.
Again, shout out to the Jolly Ginger Giant. It is, again, I can't stress enough how and you're welcome. Y'all always crying, Tisa, let the video play. Tisa, do y'all feel better? Do you feel better? Was it better? Was it easier?
Yeah.
Could you understand it more? I'm joking. We all family. But Tisa, let the video play. I let the video play. Okay.
They went to the Brand
It took everything in my
show.
soul.
They'd
Don't
seen
say
the
I
whole
don't
thing
sacrifice for y'all.
several times
Right?
without nobody
Every
saying
day y'all let
anything
me
in the
know.
midst of it
I'm
a
but a
long
humble
time
servant.
ago, like days ago even. This is old news.
And to shut up. But all jokes aside, right? Let me be serious, right?
The Jolly Ginger.
I find it odd that for everybody hooting and hollering, oh my God, case closed. Warren planned this interview. People are saying his mama got in touch with Tatum. So your best friend, and this is all I'm going to say, your best friend is black. You go on a very anti-black show. I don't care if you think he's right, wrong, or whatever. This show is very anti-black. Again, go right now. Don't go to his feed. Don't give him a look, but like ghetto black woman put in her place. Why somebody's being brutalized in a bonnet, right? And he's just like, oh, look at her out in that bonnet, right? Whatever issues he has with his mama, he needs to heal. But most likely his mama was the original. She was Detective Django, and she raised Officer Django, right? It starts in the blood. If you're black, you know, like slavery did a number on our people, right? But my whole point of the matter is you chose to go on a show and explain yourself, right? Not to talk to his mama. Because let's not forget, by Warren's own words, he never called Nolan's mama outside of that night, ever, again, ever, right? He refused to talk to the representation that was like, yo, we're trying to get to the bottom of this. You refused to talk to the lawyers, and this is before you were even a suspect. People were just wondering what was going on. You go on an anti-black show whose whole purpose is to antagonize black people, which means either one, if your stepmama coordinated it, she watches this mess. And it ain't nothing but AI slop of black people being brutalized and beat up by white people put in their place, right? It's revenge porn for like racists that are too afraid to say it with their chests. They mumble the N-word, right? When you walk by, they're like, damn, moon cricket. But they're never gonna call you a moon cricket to your face. But they'll be like, moon cricket, while you walk by. What'd you say? Right? So that's his whole thing. But if Warren, let's just say Warren did the interview himself. Before you went on the platform, you were either very familiar with the material or you watched it when they're like, oh, he wants to do an interview with you. Because you don't know, Officer Django could have been like, Master needs saving. You know, he wakes up. Does Master need saving? I'll be there, right? So he could have gotten like the bat signal, right? Shaped like a giant raccoon with a mask in the air. And he's like, I'll be there. Who knows who approached to? My point of the matter is, you saw his content and you said, yeah, This is how I want to honor my dead best friend and prove my innocence. Again, they've never been talking to the black community. They've always been talking to the white community, especially the white
And go
community
to
in
the
Ocean Springs.
bootlegger.
That a lot of people have
Yes,
a lot
he's
of
definitely
questions
part of
because
that
they know how
community,
things
you
go,
know?
and they're like,
The
this don't
bootlegger?
make any
Y'all know
sense.
the
Why would you do
bootlegger?
that to your friend?
Officer
That's who they're talking to. They're trying to run a PR campaign. So you already go there. It's already like whatever, right? And you already go. And a good thing, who said that? Divine Brokenkamp said he didn't see him at 4:30, but you heard him. You saw how little those boats are. If you heard him, you saw him. And especially because you said your friend, who we now know to be
First of all, Tisha, you're absolutely right, because when they said they got there that morning, they said they boy Trayvon, he got there at 10:30. No, he got there at 10 o'clock. They pulled in at 10:30. Trayvon was telling them, yo, park here, park there. He already had the parking spots reserved. You feel me? So of course he saw where the boats was at. They right there. He told them park it there. So that's why I'm like not understanding when Trayvon said he got on Nolan went to his boat and he went to his boat. He made it seem like his boat was way over there and his shit was way over there. Man, the boats is parked right next to each other, brother. Like, what are you talking about? What are we saying here? Huh? So you trying to say you got into a fight with a dude on the beach because he didn't like the way you was talking to your girlfriend and Nolan was standing right there and do nothing? And he came with you? And you fighting with somebody from another group? What kind of friend is that? So now you're saying Nolan wasn't a good friend? Oh, come on.
Bart, I believe. Yo, you didn't just say, yo, get on the boat. You screamed with urgency 3 times. Nolan, get on that effing boat. Get on that effing boat. Get on that boat. If it's normal for people to hang back and not do this, why was Bart begging him? Because if I'm yelling at you, screaming, get the F, do the F anything 3 times, because honestly, you told me no, and you get on my nerve, I'm leaving. Bye. He said he ain't getting on. Let's go. Literally, maybe I might ask you 2 times. The 3rd time, I'm begging you to get on the effing boat. The 3rd time, you're begging me to get on the boat. But if it's so normal for people to stay, why was Bart so upset he wouldn't get on the boat? Right? Now, but let's even get into the bigger matter, which I think a lot of people are like, he drowned in the story, dummy. That's not the end of the story, because you ain't got any proof. My logic is just as valid as yours. The only thing is, I will acknowledge I don't know what happened. Y'all sitting there, it's guaranteed. Drowning on what proof? On whose authority? Right? But my whole point is, and I think the one thing that a lot of people are overlooking is, when Warren went on Officer Tatum's show, it seemed rehearsed. It seemed practice.
It was.
It seemed like you had note cards. It seemed like this wasn't spontaneous. Man on the street, hey, why don't you tell us what you're wearing today? Do you live in New York City? How much do you pay per rent? It wasn't a spontaneous man on the street interview. So even with a host that ain't asking any questions and it's not pressing you.
And then when he messed up
Even
the questions, he even got him back on the
days
track.
of preparation, even with you being there and being an eyewitness, even with you, according to you, having the power of the truth with you, even with an editing team and lighting and people off to the side guiding the interview to make sure you don't do or say anything that makes you look or sound stupid or guilty.
Officer Django, bootlicker, your thanks, man. You cracked the case with this one. Because if they wouldn't have got up there and stumbled around with their words the way they did, they probably got away with this shit, man. So thanks, Officer Django, bootlicker.
Still could not give us a tangible story. You still could not give us a cohesive timeline. You still could not make anything make sense. Nothing.
Nothing.
Not one thing.
Not one thing.
Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? And that is why everybody is looking at them strange. Because everybody knows the way interviews go. Everybody knows the way a biased host goes. They literally, you want to talk about DEI? That was a DEI interview. That was a DEI DEI interview. That was an affirmative action interview. They want to talk about. That was a DEI interview. That was everything they get, and you still couldn't get it, and you still didn't make any sense, and it made things okay. And if that is the version of the truth that you can offer us, that doesn't make any sense, doesn't add up, filled with things, and you looking like American Psycho with not a lick of emotion, and that's what you want us to swallow as well. Case closed. Case solved. Do y'all think we're stupid? What is going on? I know Officer Tatum thinks we're stupid, but you know what?
Your teacher.
Officer DeJango alone, right? He's making his money, this and that, blah, 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 blah. You know, I pray to God. Well, you know, I'm not even going to put that on this, but it's like, you know, that, Daddy, this happened. What you talking about, boy? Why don't you get on the ground and tell what they say? Like, literally, what was that? Something happens to somebody in his family, would he come out?
If honest conversations and a genuine connection are what you're after, you're already in the right place. Scan the QR code and take a look at who's here right now. Sometimes it starts with similar interests, and get to know someone at whatever pace feels comfortable for you. As we get older, most of us care less about how many people.
Look, you know? Anyway, Constance said, has anyone checked on the real hero? Vicky from Cito, yes, because she let them talk and ask the right questions to get us where we are now. You know, the funny thing is, Constance, we need to do a tribute to Vicky from Cito, because she is the real MVP. But remember, I said, I think we both agreed on this, right? Last time we was talking. When you have a cover-up, everybody needs to be in on it. And Vicky from Cito asked every question we needed. Where are you? Are you on the shore? Is everybody safe? You guys see the Coast Guard? What's going on over there? How old is everybody? Are there any adults around? Are there no adults? How many people are there? Do you need medical assistance?
Facts,
Thank God for Vicky from Cito. And Vicky called the captain. Hi, Captain. Hi, Captain. There's some kids and blah, blah. What? I just talked to the grandfather. You know, the funny thing is, Vicky was so funny because she's doing her job. She talked to Captain Cito. He's like, I just talked to the grandfather. And she's like, did you? What did he say? Well, he said blah, 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 blah. Oh, but do they have a membership? And the captain kept saying, nah.
He said they good. They don't even need it. But if they do, they'll call me back. That ain't suspicious? Say that ain't suspicious. Huh? They in the middle of the call with the ladies talking about we going down. But the grandfather already said cancel the call. So that what he was saying was made up, man. He was faking. The grandfather already told the captain, no, don't even worry about it. If we need it, we call you back. So he was fronting, right? Because he just said, we're going down. It's very, very suspicious.
They don't have the membership. Are you sure? They don't have a membership, Vicky. You know what? Why don't you give me his number and I'll look it up? And the captain was like, oh, blah, 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 blah. No, good luck. Good news. They do have a membership. Because that's another thing. Remember how the Cito captain was trying to get Vicky off the phone and was literally like, Vicky couldn't read the room. Thank God. Shout out to people that can't read the room, right? Vicky couldn't read the room. And the captain kept using as his excuse why he didn't want to go out there. One, Jerry told me don't bother. But two, they don't have the membership. And it's busy. And I don't have time to go out there for places that don't have a membership. And Vicky was like, are you sure they don't have a membership? They said they did. What's the number? I'll look it up. And by the end of it, she's like, oh, good news. They do have a membership. So you can go out there. And that's when the captain was like, oh, just put me through. I'll talk to them directly. All right, Vicky. And Vicky was like, okay, you have a good day. Yo, Vicky from Cito is the MVMFMP. Shout out to Vicky from Cito. Thank you. Oh, also, Lyric 520. Thank you for being a member for 20 months. Thank you. This is like what, my 4-year anniversary on YouTube. You said, I'm going to say this one more time again. If these roles were reversed, every person of color within 30 feet of the island would have been under the jail or dead. You know what? I 100% agree with you. And that's the unspoken thing that nobody wants to say, and you said it out loud. If they were people of color, everybody would be arrested, under the jail, and or dead. There would literally be justice right now. The FBI would have moved in and arrested them. But we all see the world we live in, and we actually see what happened. And it's pathetic what's going on, but it is what it is. But yeah, you guys, somebody said, please stop calling that clown officer. He's no longer an officer. He don't deserve the title. Yeah. Okay, fine. But I thought Officer Django had a nice ring to it, you know, but fine. Well, just, how y'all gonna know I'm talking about him?
Because call him
Like,
bootlicker.
Officer Django? How, like, can you guys give me a new nickname? Because when I say Officer Django, the visual is like, boom. You know, I think Officer Django is very disrespectful, but okay, fine. Stop calling him an officer. I'm gonna have to think of a new thing, because I feel like his next thing is gonna be calling someone a COON is a racial slur, and he's gonna start going after people for calling him a racial slur. Again, never underestimate the power of people that criticize the race card to play said race card. You know what I'm saying? Oh, at Ford Dread said, look into the law firm attached to Give Singo. That's the original founder. Calvin Taylor recently resigned a few years back because he was sitting circuit court judge who presides over cases with none other than a DA, Angel Myers McBride. This is what I mean. Thank you so much, at For Dread. Look at this knowledge, y'all. So Give Send Go is the boys, Warren and them's GoFundMe. It's on Give Send Go. He said, look at the law firm attached to Give Send Go. The original founder of the law firm, Calvin Taylor, recently resigned a few years back because he's a sitting circuit court judge who presides over cases with none other than DA Angel Myers. The same one that's threatening to go after everybody and whatever. You guys, listen. At the end, media are not afraid of their cornbread mafia. And I think they keep saying whatever, but at the end of the day, like Ben Crump said, we didn't say anybody was guilty. We just want answers. And where are the MFing answers? Anyway, y'all, listen. Let me get out of here. There's some videos I am going to post. I'm going to have another video up in an hour, and it's going to be based on what Roderick said about Katie being on the towed boat, because this might change everything, okay? Listen. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all soon. There's going to be a video up in an hour, and I'm going to do a special evening live because I think we need to sit around and talk about where we are in the case and talk about all the new theories coming forth. Because, again, in the last 48 hours between Thursday and Friday, so much change in this case. We need to catch up. We need to react. Anyway, y'all, listen. I'll talk to y'all later. See y'all, and make sure you turn your notifications on for my evening live. All right?
Peace out, Tisha Tells. Good looking on that. But we on it, y'all. Y'all already know. Y'all see our next guest, right? Huh? Old Ben Crump himself. Let's see where we at with Ben Crump.
Do you guys remember when starting a business took
No,
months?
Shorty. Don't ever do that again. You knock before you enter this room, all right? It's a man's club. Now, please back yourself out the way you come in. Okay, we good. Y'all ready? I'm about to ask old Ben Crump over here a series of questions and see if we can get some answers. Simple as that. So, Mr. Ben, how you doing today, sir?
It's a pleasure having you. I mean, it's so much I want to ask you. It's so much I want to get into. I know you're a busy guy, so I don't want to take up that much of your time.
said something on camera in a recent interview. He went about Nolan Wells' missing throat that hasn't been reported anywhere else yet. And in that same interview, he confirmed his own team is now doing something specific with that trending Cito audio everyone's been arguing about online. Something separate from the version that's already been picked apart and debunked. We're getting into both of those soon. We're also telling you about a completed autopsy that took 3.5 weeks longer to finish than it should have, a named friend who's been doxed off unverified audio, and a real digital forensics expert whose findings on that same audio don't match what you've probably already heard. Every piece of new information tonight, it gets sorted, confirmed, claimed, disputed, or still unknown, because if we can't tell you which box something belongs in, we're not going to pretend we can. Subscribe now because this one covers a lot.